Okay, just a brief discussion we will do, then I will start the explanation. So what do we know about lazy loading? Anyone?
On-demand loading, the whatever the
Right?
model you want.
Again, that lazy loading is the concept is not only limited to Angular. It's like whatever the resources you need that you ask on the load. Whenever you need it, at that time only it should load. Again, in the means in all the technologies we have this concept, but in when we talk about Angular, it's basically to load particular component or particular module when it is needed. Okay. So now when you work on a big project, right? So let's say you're working on a banking application, there are multiple components. Let's say component is just to number, we will say around, let's say 50 or 60 components are there. So many huge application is there. Now we have got a more better way that is micro frontend, but previously it was not there. So what we used to do, we used to create a single project, but in that we used to divide it into multiple module. Okay, so that a separation of concern will be there. Loading time, the speed of how application will behave, that will also increase. So many things were there, but now we have got standalone, so there is no need of it. But 90% application are following the same structure only. So that's why everyone is saying, like in interview also they are asking this question, right? So obviously they will ask, because 90% projects are still with the lazy loading structure only. No one has migrated it that yet to the micro frontend. The project which are started recently last year, they might have created or they might have gone with the micro frontend architecture. But the project which were older created, they are still with the lazy loading structure only. But even though with the micro frontend also, the same concept is there. Previously, what used to happen in the single project, we used to just create multiple module, but that now multiple module becomes a project now. So the concept is same, just the way of handling things is little bit different. Okay. So that is what lazy loading. Okay. Now a scenario is, let's say, consider you have a big application and you have around 50 components, and 50 components as in not the reusable, just the component which we we access as a route. So you have 50 pages in your application. Now consider when you build the application, right? When you run the ng build, what happens when you run the ng build? When you run the ng build, we get the output, right? Disk folder get created. What do we get in this, in that disk folder?
Our
What files we get?
in the libraries which we are installing.
Right. So source code, when we say source code, in which file our source code will be there?
App folder.
No. I'm
Sorry.
talking about when you run the ng build.
On this
Yeah, disk folder
HTML,
will be
CSS,
there.
and JS.
Main.js will be there.
Main.js.
Main.js. Okay. So whatever the code you write, either it is component, directive, services, custom directive, custom pipe, whatever you create, whole code will be loaded into your main.js. Okay. So consider like if you have 50 components in your project, so to load your main.js will be very heavy at that time because so much of code is there. So when you load the application for the first time, that whole code is loaded onto your main.js, right? So even though let's say you are accessing your application and by default only login page you are going to see, but still that whole code is loaded onto your browser, right? Unnecessary, because when the loading, when your application loads by default, let's say login page is there, you are still unnecessary loading everything what you are not using at that moment. Yeah, once you log in, then you are navigating to the dashboard, then it should load dashboard and remaining things like that. So loading the resource whenever it is required, that will increase your what do we say, user experience and the speed of the application also, because you are not loading all the things unnecessary. Whatever is required, you will load at that time only. Okay. So instead of going with a normal project and keeping your single app module, right? Now you can divide your application in a such a way that you will divide modules. Let's say, just for an example, if we talk about insurance application. Insurance application means the claiming process, insurance claim application. Now, if we talk about the insurance claim application, everyone knows like how does claiming part and work, right? Or you must have basic idea like how does claiming process work, right? So we have, let's say, companies there. Okay, insurance company we are talking. Their customers will be there, means us. So we raise a claim. It goes to the company. That claim to get settled, it has to go through various departments, right? In department also, let's say some doctors will be there. They will check like why you were admitted, the medicine and the treatment what you have done was correct or not. Then billing department, whatever the charges hospital has added, they might verify it, right? Then there, what do we say? That legal team, according to your claim, how much they can deduct, right? Everyone must have experience, like even though we submit so much thing, still we don't get that much because there are multiple rules, right? So legal team does that. They will check their policies according to the rules and regulation, and they will try to give less, what is the least possible amount they can give, right? So after going through all this department, finally payout will happen. So let's say payout department will be there. They will do the transaction to your account, right? Again, so many pages will be there. Again, you once you raise the claim, you have a customer support also. You can raise a query also, right? Your login will also be there. You might raise multiple claims. So you can see all claims, settle claim, dashboard, so many things will be there. Even multiple roles will be there. For all the roles, they will have multiple dashboard also. So consider this huge application. You cannot more than 50 components you will be needing. Okay. Because I have worked on a insurance application. So I know like around 230 components were there, right? So 230 component, keeping it in a single module, that's not a proper way, right? So what we do, according to our big project, we try to divide that in a smaller module. Okay. Now those module in Angular, we call it as a feature modules. Okay. Whenever you explain the lazy loading, this word feature module should be there in your answer. So what we do, let's say whenever your application loads, first login page is there. What components are there with the login? When we talk about login functionality, what components are related to login functionality? Just the login, or we need something else again,
Sign up.
right? So we will say sign up, login,
Reset password.
Admin.
reset password. That will be nothing but your forgot or reset, right? Reset and forgot. These are the things we have when we talk about login functionality, correct? So what we do, all these are related component. Okay. So what we do, we create a feature of it and we will say auth module. So instead of in your application, instead of having just the one app module, what you do, you create multiple modules and a related group of something. So that's what I said, auth module. Now in auth module, you will have all these component. So when your application load onto the browser, and by default, let's say your login component is the first one to load. So it will only load this auth module. Okay. Then let's say login is done. After that, you navigate him to the dashboard. Let's say role is something else, but every role will have the dashboard. So dashboard module. Okay. Now what component we can have in dashboard module?
Home page.
Some count
Dashboard contains so many things,
table.
right? So we have graphs, charts, some
Graph,
statistic
chart,
data,
yes.
recent user, some notification. So many things are there, right? So we cannot keep that all this information in a single component. We divide those also, right? So here what we do, instead of keeping that all in a single dashboard component, we create recent user component. Let's say some graph component, statistic component where we show that count. Let's say we have some donut chart. So we have donut chart component, right? So by default, only auth module will load. Once user logged in, after that dashboard component has to be loaded. So we load dashboard module, and in dashboard module, we load our all these component. Getting it? So all this component will be part of your dashboard module. All this component will be part of your auth module. So just like that, according to our modules, we keep on creating our modules. Means when we divide our project into smaller module, right? So that module and Angular module. So we create our module and all the component related to that module will be put it over here. Just like that, let's say we have a claiming process. So again, in the claim module, we will have so many components, new claim, claim list, so many components might be there, open claim, read only something detail. Okay. So many components will be there, which are related to claim module. So we will create a claim module and all the component related to claim will register over here. This is how a big project normally used to happen previously. Okay. Still now also we have it, but now what we do for dashboard, we create a different project. For claim, we create a different project. For auth, we create a different project. Like that happens in micro frontend. But again, the same logic is the same. How we are dividing the project. Previously, we used to create multiple module, but that now that multiple module are going to be created as a project. That's the difference with micro frontend. Okay. Now we will try to implement the same. So let me go to a folder. So I will create, I have Angular 20 only over here, but with Angular 20, I will create the older structure where we can have app module. So cmd ng new, let's say lazy loading. Now, if you just run Sorry, let me share. My Wi-Fi was down. Okay. So this is the command when in Angular 20 also from Angular 17 plus, when you just run the command ng new project name, it will create the project structure with app config. You don't get that app module. But if even in the latest version, if you have to create the older folder structure with app module, so you have to write ---- standalone false. Okay. So the first question, like I have Angular 20, so it will ask like, do you need to go ahead with zone.js? So I'm saying just no. CSS, SSR also no, enter. Okay. So see, here I have got app module.ts. So with the latest version also, you can still create the project with the older folder structure. Okay. What you need to do, ---- standalone false parameter you need to pass. So it will create the older folder structure. Fine. Now, it will take some time. Let's open it. VS Code. D20 lazy loading. So that node module thing, node module is not there. It is that process is going on. Once it is done, node module will come. Fine. Now, whatever we discussed till now, auth module, dashboard, and claim module, likewise will go. Okay. So previously, what we used to do, we just have one app module. All the component, whatever the component you create, all the component used to get registered over here in the declaration section. Correct. So consider you have 120 component and all the components are getting registered over here. So when you take out the build, all the component directive pipes, whatever you created will be part of single main.js. So that's why your build get heavy and loading time will increase. Okay. Now, instead of that, what we do, we divide our application into multiple modules. That is what lazy loading. Okay. So what I do in app module, I will create a new folder, or directly we can create module, or no. Let's create a pages. Now in pages, I will open a new folder. Let's say first module I have to create for the auth. Okay. So now I have to create a module and its routing file also. So ng generate module auth. This will just create a module file. M stands for module. It will create a module file. Currently, by default, we just have app module, but now we are creating one more module file. But with the module file, what you need the routing also of it, because in auth module, you are going to have components. For those component also, you need to create the routing. So you add hyphen routing. Okay. Let's enter. So it should create an auth module. Okay, so you can see auth folder it has created inside that auth module and its routing file. Just like that, we need claim ng generate module claim hyphen routing. Second module I'm creating with the routing. Okay, so see what number of feature modules, nothing but auth and claim. These are your feature models. Okay, now let's close it. Now in auth module, we need components. So in auth module, you will create folder components. Okay. Now inside this, you will create the component which are related to your auth module, login, forgot password, reset password, whatever. Okay. So open a terminal, ng generate component, let's say login. This is the first route. Now in the older folder structure, if you remember, whenever we used to create a whenever we used to create a component, that component used to get added to your app module, right? But now where it has registered in auth module itself. If I open the auth module, see here it got added because we are running the command inside this module. So whenever you create any component, directive, pipe, it get registered over here in this module itself. All the components you are creating inside this module will be part of this module only. Okay. So see, after creating the component, it has updated auth module itself. Let's create one more. Forgot password. Second component I'm creating. Okay. So now in my auth module, I have two components, forgot password and the login password. Just like that component, pipes, whatever you create directives, you can create it over here. Fine. Now, in auth module, we have created two components. Just like that in claim also, I will create some component. Open ng generate component, new claim form. So now here also you can see where it has added claim module. If I open this, see, okay, one more component, ng generate component, claim list component. Fine. So we have created two components into our claim also. Let's add one more. Claim detail something. Three components into our claim module. Like that, you will keep on creating multiple models. Okay. Now, so we have two models. In each module, we have respective component. So what we do now, so many of you might have got that interview question like, what is the syntax of lazy loading? They should not ask that question. It is very confusing that what is the syntax of lazy loading, right? But what they mean is like, how do you create the routes of the lazy loaded components, right? So when you have a normal component, what you do in our app routing module.ts, what you do path, then your route name, and you load the component itself. This is your normal routing. But now what we have two modules. Now we have to create the lazy loaded. That is nothing but syntax what we have to write. Lazy loaded route. Now we are not going to create the route of a particular component. Now we are going to create route of a particular module. Okay. So now here, what we do, path, let's say first one is our auth. So route name will be auth. Then here we have to provide load children. Okay. Now, in standalone component, we use load component. If we have to lazy loaded the component, so we use load component. in standalone. Okay. If you have to load the route or the module, you go with the load children. Load children. Now it has we have to import our specific module. Okay. So import round bracket dot slash your pages slash auth module. Okay. We are reading the import, and from this particular file, we need to get our specific route. So dot then. Okay. Here we will get specific module, that particular file name m.auth module. This is that syntax they ask. As such, lazy loading doesn't have any syntax, nothing but route. But instead of asking like, how do you create the lazy loaded route? They ask like, what is the lazy loading syntax, or some other way also they ask. Okay. So this is one route we have created for the auth module. Okay. Now second one. Again path. Second will be for claim. So most of you might have seen like in your application, route is like dashboard slash admin slash, like this routing will be there. So this is that first route name. And then second route name will be in your respective module. Okay. So load children. And have a practice of writing this, because most of the time they, as I said, like multiple time I have already explained, ki interviews are changing. No one is going through very basic question. What is, they ask you to share the screen and they ask you to write everything, at least in the second interview. First round, still it is limited to what is question and theoretical. But in second round, they are asking you to share the screen. Whatever they ask, they will ask you to write pseudocode, not the exact one, but at least you should be able to write something, right? Then play module dot then dot your claim module. Okay. So see, we have created two feature module and we have created the routing of two feature module also. Now in respective component also we have the routing file. See, in auth also we have routing, and in claim also we have routing. Now in auth we have components. So these are the components. Obviously we have to create the routes of this. So over here only we create the routes of component we have in the auth module. So here also we have routing. So here normal route. So path, login, component, login component. Okay, so I have Angular 20, so that naming convention got changed now. We don't have component directive pipe like that. It is just file name now. Second route, path. This will be your forgot password, component, forgot password. So in auth module, we had two components. So we created the respective route in auth routing module.ts. Just like that in claim also, we have three components. So we have to create the routes of it over here. Path, new claim, component, new claim. First route, path, claim hyphen list, component, claim list. And third one, detail, component, claim detail. Okay. So we have created three routes of over here. So this is that way how we create the lazy loading syntax. So in our app routing module, the outside routing module, we will have the routing for our module. And in inner module, we will have the routing of respective component from the inner module. Okay. Now let's run this. How do we access? Obviously, routing is something little bit different. So how do we access the particular route also, right? So let's run the project. NGS. Just let me complete, then we will go with the questions. Let's try to open it. Localhost 4200. Okay, so by default, we are getting this page because in our app component, we didn't add our router outlet. So let's remove everything. Router outlet. Okay, now let's see. So currently nothing is opening. So in console also, we don't have any error. Why? Because we didn't set the default route. Okay, so let's say we need auth as a default, right? So we can set that also. Now we will try to navigate to auth / login. So this will be your routing now. Your module routing, then respective component, what component you need to open. If it was a claim / something from this. Okay, let's try to enter. See, login component is open. Got it? Let's say you want to open your claim something. So your routing will be claim / whatever the route name from the claim routing. Claim list. See, getting it? So this is how your structure of the lazy loaded project will be. This is only what you need to answer very confidently. Ki how does lazy loading work? If you explain this part properly, whenever you are answering loadChildren feature, this word should be there in your answer. So this is your route level, this is your feature routing, and this is your particular module routing. Getting it? Again, that default route, everything will work the same. Here also you can have the default route, we redirect and everything. And if you just provide the claim, whatever the default route you have, that will load. Understood? Yeah. Again, one thing is remaining. First, we will go with the questions. Anyone having any question now? Till now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, if we simply apply this lazy loading in that app.module.ts file only, like we applied load children instead of creating another feature file.
That
Then,
will also work. All the routing you can create over here also.
yeah,
But that's the disadvantage. Na? If you have more component, so your loading means loading spill will your main.js will have all the code. Now you are according to the feature, your separate vendor.js will get created. I also forgot like vendor.js only, na? Anyone remember lazy loading vendor file get created or what? When we apply lazy loading, what do we get? Let's try. Network. JS. Let's try to navigate. Hard reload. So we have main.js over here. What is that file? What we see? Just to tell you the difference. Anyone remember? Let's try routing to.
Actually,
Somehow we check that. Let me clear it. Okay. How we will check the difference now? We are going to be able to understand anything.
That your Angular extension can help.
Yeah, extension will help, but from here also we can see na that chunk or some vendor file get created.
yeah, I think
chunk file.
can we go to localhost 4000 and check
Fifth
the response of
number
main.js?
file is chunk file, fifth number under zone.js.
Chunks, I think all are feature modules.
Chunk na this one. We have got 4 or 5 something. Okay, little bit. Let's not waste time because 2 more things I have to cover. Okay, getting it. So, what
So
do we
one quick
say?
question.
Yeah.
So like let's say we have defined two modules, auth and claim. Now we have not defined any default route for them. So what will be the where it will
We
take us
can
if we go to auth?
create.
No, I know we
See.
can create, but just in case if we have not created.
Nothing will do. See, let's say if I just navigate to claim. Now in claim, we haven't defined any particular route, default route. So see, nothing is happening. No console will be there. Okay, because we didn't define anything. but let's say we define a empty route. Redirect to, let's say by default, I want to redirect to the detail page. See, now detail will work. If you don't create a default route, nothing will work and it won't show you any error also. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Now, so according to your feature model, you created your, according to when you divide your project into smaller things, so you create your feature model, right? Like this. But now when you work, that shared folder you might have seen, right? So what's the purpose of shared module?
Like that module will be shared in whole application.
Reusable component.
Now see, I will explain you why do we need that. Now consider key in your claim module, you have created your reusable table component. Okay, let's say here I will create reusable component. Let's say you have created some reusable component into your claim module. Okay, so ng generate component, let's say table, my table component, reusable table you have created. Now in your auth module also consider, now auth module we don't need the table, but consider like in one of your feature module you have created some reusable component. That same functionality is needed in another component, in another feature module. So we should not be again creating it over here also, na? That will be again unnecessary duplicate of code. So this table component, see if I use this into my claim detail. Okay, let's see. So see, in claim component, I'm able to use my table component. It is loading. But if I try the same in auth, let's say in login component, I'm trying to access the component. Here I will get the error. Why?
It's not
So
declared.
It is from different modules.
It is declared
it
in
is
the
from different module, right?
Yeah.
So this our table is in claim component, but same functionality we need it into our auth module. So it's, if we try to use it, obviously it won't allow because this module, this component is getting registered over here, right? So now from this module, if you have to use something over here, what you do, you need to export it, saying this table component belongs to this module, but there are some things like component directive which you created for one feature, but might be needed in another feature also. So what we do, we export it also. So from your claim component where you have created your reusable component, what you do, you create export array. Okay, and here you will export your my table component also. Okay, where we are importing, but still it is giving error. So what you need to do?
Import
You
that
export
module.
it, right? So here in auth module, you need to import that whole module. Okay, what is that? Claim module. Okay, now if you see, you don't have that error. Now if you try to access, why it is still showing? So let's see, save all is also good.
Refresh that, it will work.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to duplicate. Auth / login. Okay, so see, in login also I'm able to access the component. But what is the problem with this? We are able to access one component from one module to another component. Okay. But do we have any disadvantage over here? Everything is working fine also, right?
In every component we will be using.
Export and import.
See,
We have
what you
imported the whole model.
We are in
yeah,
the loop.
whole module we have imported over here. That's unnecessary, na? From this module, we are just going to use that table component, but still that whole module you imported. So
not just exported on, right?
Sorry?
No, I'm just asking that you have exported from the claim module, no, on a single component,
Right.
one single my table. So while we
Right.
import
Only
it in
this
another, when we import it in another module, only that component will be loaded, or the entire component, whatever declare in the claim module.
Right. But for now, we are just practicing. So now, right now, we are just exporting this. But let's say in actual project, we might export so many things. Na? Let's say one component you are using. So things will increase. So instead of doing this, what you do, you create a shared model. All the reusable thing, instead of keeping it over here, just like here we create our reusable table. But instead of creating reusable component, reusable pipe, so means your custom pipe, custom directory, instead of putting it into your feature module, you create a shared module. And there you declared everything. Okay? Shared. And here for shared module, we don't need the routing. So it will just the normal shared module we will create. Generate module, shared. Okay. Now all your reusable component, custom directive, custom pipe, you will create in the shared module over here. Okay. So we have folder structures. We move it back. Okay. So now in shared, what you do, you will create a reusable components. Then you will create pipes, custom directives. Okay. Now let's say reusable card component you have created. So ng generate card. Okay. And in reusable component, you have created the card. And now let's say this card you are going to use in everywhere, right? So what you do, everywhere you import your reusable means shared module also. Whatever things you have it in shared module, you will be able to access in your particular module also. So you will have feature module also. And one more thing extra, what you will have, that is shared module. So in shared module, we keep all the reusable thing, custom directive pipes and reusable component, so that we can inject this module in another feature module and we can use things from over here. Got it? So this is how we structure our project. So again, like services and those things are there. So that for that we create a core folder, and core folder we create that. Okay. Sure. So this is how lazy loading implementation we do.
For every module, it has separate service folder.
We can create, let's say login service is there or user authentication service is there. So that service is only going to be used it over here only. So why to keep it in outside? No? So if some service or let's say some pipe is there, that pipe is only going to be used over here only in auth module only. So no need to put it into your shared module. Let's say some custom directive is there that you are going to use over here only in your auth module only. So no need to put it over here. If you think that your custom pipe or custom directive or any service that you are going to use across the different module, then you can put it over here. But if something is only going to be used in that particular module, so you can create over here also. No need to keep it on the shared thing.
Then what is
Clear?
the use of core module?
Core module, we keep our services, interface, classes, interceptor, constants, right? Just things which are common across all the module, we keep it into the core module. Like services, classes, interface, like models, what we create, constant, enums, interceptor, all those things, helper file, all these things we will move it to our core folder.
Okay.
Clear?
So it's better to provide module based, I mean feature module based services in each folder itself, right? That.
Yeah, here also we can create services and everything. Let's say login service is there. Login service, you are going to need it over here.
Okay. So which one is better, like keeping all the services in a single folder and use it in
it's
the
not which is
app
good.
module?
If
Features.
let's say a master service is there, and in that master service, all the API calls relate to all the API calls are there, which are needed in this model also and this model also, you will create into your core folder. But let's say some service is there which you are going to need it in your auth module itself. So you will create the service in the auth module instead of putting it in a core. Got it? Based on the use. If you need it across the application, you put it into core, or if it is module specific, you keep it into module.
That
So
will
if
also
Sir, why we need use the separate core module? We have shared module also there.
Shared will have the things which are actually connected with your DOM. Directive, pipe, and this. These are actually connected with DOM. Service is service
Yes.
connected with your DOM,
No.
right? So that's why it's just a folder structure. Okay.
only the
Name you can
components,
give
right?
in anything. Name, not component, directive, pipes. No, these are actually work. These things actually work with the DOM, right? HTML has
Yeah.
something to do with this.
Yes.
But service,
Yes.
constant file, it has nothing to do with HTML file, right? So we name it as a core. Again, it's just a folder name. You can keep it anything name. Okay.
Okay.
It's not key. You have to give shared only. You can keep it any name. Just this is the
Sir,
normal naming convention we follow.
So when
so
we
if I'm
suppose
talking about standalone, so how work lazy loading?
This we don't use because standalone component itself a module. Whatever it needs, it is there only. So we don't create this structure over there. That's why we have load component. Okay.
Mm.
This whatever we are seeing now, this was mainly followed with the older folder structure only. Now everyone will go with your micro frontend, and instead of load children, we go for load component where we load dynamic component, means lazy loaded
Sir,
component.
sir, can load replaced by can match? It's all
Can
good.
match. Can match. I have not used. Not sure.
Okay.
Fine. So for
Micro
interview
In
purpose now,
standalone
make sure
component, the approach is same for creating the lazy loading.
that's what I said. In standalone component, you won't be having this kind of structure
Okay.
it's
because
already
it's already a standalone, na? Just like how module behaves, just like that, your whole component will behave. No need of creating module and creating this structure.
No, but when we are creating a path in standalone, so it is like by default lazy loaded.
No.
No.
Load component, what we use. See, over here, what we use load children because
Yeah.
load children will only accept either routing file or the module file.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if it is your standalone component, instead of that, you will use load component where you can pass the
Okay.
component.
Got
Lazy
it.
loading your component instead
Got
of
it.
module.
Got
so
it.
only that component will be loaded. Oh, right.
Right. Because when we say standalone means it has everything what it needs. It doesn't disturb anything else. It is not dependent on anything else. Just like that's model also. Whatever it needs, it has everything inside it. Just like that. Now we have a component, a smaller version. Okay.
So in our standalone application also we can use this kind of shared component, right? I mean shared
We
things or
can, but it won't make any sense. We can try to use it. We can, but it won't make any sense because let's say you create a shared module. Same thing you will register over there in the component itself. Okay. Even if you
so
create this
like
way, in every component you will import this, correct?
yes.
Because it is a standalone, right? Everywhere you are importing this like that only. So either you put it
So
into a share module or you use the respective component or pipe in the component.
Sir, but every company working in a standalone component, so how to manage over there?
so we have to
Whatever
individually
you need,
import all
individually
these
import
things.
it now. Let's say if you have a component and in that component, you are just going to use a reusable table component. So you import that reusable component only. No need to
So whatever
import the whole module. Got it?
whatever we need, we
Okay,
can
sir.
directly import in
Yeah,
that
whatever you
particular
need,
standalone.
that particular thing only you will import.
Okay. So the bundle size will also be very less, right? In
Right.
that case.
Sir, right now you are importing the shared module into each of the feature module.
Right.
So I was thinking like, can't we directly import the shared module into our main app module so that it will
That
be
will also
available?
be there. Let's say in this shared module, you are going to use in only, let's say you have 5 feature module and only in 3 feature module, you are going to use the things from shared module. In remaining 2 shared module, you are not going to use it. So is this a best good way to add it overall the application?
No.
Right? That's
So
why
if we put that show
wherever
module in the app module, then the load will also be
it
increased,
will
right?
it will be overall the application, even though you need it or not, it is still there. So where
Yeah.
the resource is needed, there only you register it. That's why. Okay.
Okay.
So suppose if you are gonna use any material modules, we have multiple components of material. So in that
Okay,
case,
so in lazy loading, we don't import the module in app module.
No, we
Okay.
don't have anything in the app module. Just the routing file will be there. That too,
Okay.
the outer one. Okay, let's say in auth module you are going to use reactive module, and in the claim module you are not going to use it. So just import it over here itself. Reactive form module. That's it. Getting it? So why to disturb the whole module? If reactive form module you are going to use in auth module, and in claim you are not going to use it, so don't import it over here. That gives you a feature. Whatever that module required, you importing there itself. You are not disturbing the whole application.
Also keeping it lightweight.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now this, what module we created in micro frontend, this gets created as a different project. But again, the logic, how we are exporting over here, right? Things from this component, if we have to use it somewhere, we have to export it. Just like there also, we register that specific VX. Well, let's say you created a project, and what things you are going to use, you want to be accessible from outside that project, we export it. And we register that in your module, that boundary file, and you use it wherever you need it, like that.
Sir, when you say micro frontend, what do you mean by that?
So we create multiple projects inside a single project. Here we created a module, right? Instead of that, we create a multiple projects over here. Okay.
Okay.
Project means
How can
they
we
had
create,
same
sir?
folder structure.
Can you give like
Yeah,
one
within this,
example?
I also, let me check if the folder is there. My knowledge is also very limited with that. Unless you micro content.
You mean like a microservice architecture or something?
Yeah, that's what.
It belongs
Micro content
to
workspace.
Spring microservice.
Small project will have a micro front end.
Like this. See, you have a big project, and inside that, this is one project, this is another project. Getting it? See,
But how
inside one
both are
project, you have
How
connected?
we
multiple
going to
projects.
create, sir? Like that.
That what is that? Module federation and NX
Monopoly.
repo libraries. Yes.
Monorepo,
So by
right?
you.
Monorepo.
Sir, how can we combine different projects into the single project, sir?
That's how we deploy those. This project get deployed separately. This project gets deployed separately, and this project we use it in another project, like that, where you
Okay, sir.
have a common nav
give you
bar or
command,
something will be common.
yes, sir. If you give command ng, so means which project will execute, sir? Whole project.
Each project will run on different port. This will run on different port. This will run on different port. You will export things from over here. Okay, then you use it somewhere, like that. I also have very basic knowledge on it, because all the project I have joined, it was
Every
all
time we have
created.
to install npm for every folder structure, or
No. Common. No. Common, you have it over here only. Package.js.
okay. Then
Here only you have
in
it.
separate, what are the things are there?
Just code separate. Here what we did, just model we created, right? So instead of creating a model, you create a project. Getting it?
Okay.
So
Means
whole different
structure
other
is same, but like
same. Just instead of creating a model, you are creating a project itself.
okay.
So other team parallel, let's say when in a big project, multiple teams parallelly work, right?
Yeah.
So auth module team is separate. So they will work on this project. Claim team is separate. They will work on this project, like that. So multiple teams can work parallelly. All the projects can deploy, all the projects can be deployed individually, like that.
And it can also happen that one project can be on Angular, another can be on React.
React also. That is also possible.
Okay.
So in a
What
single
is the
project, one
benefit of
project
this?
So
Because like if we have multiple applications and if
multiple
they are like
application in a single umbrella.
yeah, so but then again if we're like building it differently and deploying them differently, then what's the like Like, why is
You,
it integrated into one?
let's say you are working on a banking application. When we talk about banking, there are multiple modules, but navbar is common.
Yeah.
When you click on particular link, particular project get loaded. When you click on
Oh,
different link, particular project get loaded. All
okay.
are hosted on a different server. Getting it? Whole
Yeah.
teams around 50 teams
So
are there. So 50
the
teams will
availability
work
will be
parallelly. Obviously, na.
will be reliable.
On
Module
different server, you are hosting everything. Your
like
scalability works and everything works like that.
reusable
So,
components, sir.
Not reuse. Yeah, you can say kind of a reusable component.
But they will
suppose
not behave
over
as a
the
single page application, right?
Single page only, na.
no.
But you are loading the whole application on request. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Hmm.
Sir, with from Angular 20 plus with standalone true, what will be the bundle size compared to the model-based approach? Can we give comparison wise
Bundle size
any
is
answer?
it has nothing to do with bundle size. According to your project size only, it will vary, na. But with standalone, like when we say load component, so dynamically you are lazy loading the component itself. Everything what your component did, you register over there itself. But in older project, all the things get registered in your app module, right? All the import reactive form module, everything will be over here. Now we created this, but all the component will be over here. All the directive, all the imports, whatever external you are doing, everything will be over here only. Okay, so it's
No,
good
sir,
to use
what
the
I'm asking, if I'm
stuff.
having a project with older approach, single app module.ts, and suppose I upgraded to Angular 20, and we need to go for app config then. So in every component, we have to mention standalone true. Then that is going to support the standalone approach. And in that case, there is no, we don't have to worry
It
about
will create.
anything because app module is not
Have to
there.
create. We don't have
Okay,
to
so
create. When you update now, it will only do itself. You don't have to do it. When you update the project, na ng update, it will only do. You don't have to manually do everything.
Okay.
And it will actually add the imports. So it will check like what models you had over there, and it will only do that. If your project structure is proper and everything, otherwise we have to check and resolve while updating.
Yes.
So the initial bundle size will again will be good in the case of standalone only, no? Compare even if you are using.
Yes, compared to the this one, obviously standalone will have the better bundle size.
Yeah, even if you are using this kind of I mean loadChildren, all these things, you know, feature module, still bundle size will be more less in the standalone, right?
Yes. Okay. So those who are actually preparing, make sure you actually implement this 1 or 2 times by write everything. Then only you will be confident while answering. Otherwise, they also know that everyone is just remembering the question by writing all the answer and you are giving it. But if you actually write it 1 or 2 times now, you will be more confident while giving the answer. Doesn't matter because in Angular we have limited number of questions. They only check with what confidence, with what coding example, what practical example you are giving the answer. That's what justify your answer. Okay, so just implement it 1 or 2 times, even if your project has that, because that might be created by someone else, right? You have to do it by your own.
Sir, I have a request actually.
Yeah.
So can you make a video on zone.js and or how this Angular change detection actually works? So
Zone.js, no? Yeah, with Signal, I think in Signal video I might have covered like why we don't need zone.js now. I will try.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Sir, we are going to create the project. In that we are using these what can we say?
Yeah, we can.
Zoneless project.
Zoneless is like, zoneless is like if you say ki I don't need zone.js, everywhere you have to worry about your change detection. Then you cannot use normal variable. You have to go with Signal now. So don't go with zone without zoneless. Go with zoneless only. Okay, because your chain detection won't work now. Then you have to everywhere you have to use Signal only. Then only chain detection will work. Okay.
In the project, we are going to implement the micro frontend, micro.
No. Normal project only we will do.
Okay.
So Zone.js means it will.
In project.
So what is micro programming?
Hello.
Sorry.
Micro
Sir, are we
programming.
going to use
Program.
signals in project?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Thank you. Okay, I will share the recording. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Sir, how to use Git in VS Code, sir?
How to use Git in VS Code? Like left side, you get the option. Na? There you can do everything, or use the command prompt also.
Can you share and show me, sir? How to create a branch?
Just run the command. Just run the command. Na? Git commands are there. Na? Git
init.
-b.
Git commands also there, but
same thing. You do it over here also. From here, you can directly do the changes, push, pull, commit, right? Either you run the git command or you do it from over here.
Okay. So branch also we are creating here only, sir.
Branch you cannot create from over here. Branch git -b will create
Without create branch, how to see our changes, sir?
Without creating branch, how to see means?
When you push the code and you try to do the changes, automatically
changes will be visible
by this
over here.
Here automatically it will be visible. Do not need
I also have some same doubt. I
Yes.
created repo from your repo, but it's get in my Git account. So daily, how I can get your changes?
you pull that
pull,
code, their code by writing git pull command. Some command is there. I forget that
Git
command.
pull.
Yeah.
Git pull only. Git pull only.
Yeah, git pull.
Your repo is in your account and my repo is in my Git account.
No, by my creating branch from my repo, you won't get it, na? Okay, it will be in my branch only.
Without create branch only, we will see our changes now.
Please, I didn't get.
Okay.
This is very basic.
Okay.
See,
I will Google it.
I think ChatGPT will help you all.
Okay, I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
We create a repo, we clone it, we commit, we push, right? Daily we take the pull.
So whatever we merge in the main branch, that we can access. Not
Right.
from the feature branch, right?
Feature branch we cannot do, na? You have to merge your feature branch to master, then everyone will be getting that.
Then only we have to access.
Okay. Bit2 has taken that session some days back with Git. Let me check if I have the recording. Okay, I will share it. Fine. Thank you all. Thanks for joining.
By the way, one more thing, this recording will be getting uploaded in YouTube, right?
Yeah, on YouTube only. Yeah. I will do it to Monday or today only I will do it. Fine. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.